So, the relationship between Australia and the UK can be summed up as a mother and her tomboy daughter. Oh yeah, I should explain the history.
Created by Anthony Rizzo, Sydney, Australia.
Hey mates, it's me Riz, and welcome back to Australia's Relationships. Today we'll be discussing Australia's relationship history with her mother country, the British. Well, technically it's now the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Oh yeah, all of Ireland was part of the UK until the end of the Irish War of Independence in 1921, but Northern Ireland is still part of the UK, so as you could guess, Ireland is kind of included. With that confusion out of the way, let's get to the context. So pretty much the relationship starts in 1788 on the 26th of January, the day the British Empire's first fleet arrived in Sydney and established the colony. The British shipped their criminals to Australia due to an overcrowded prison system. However, since the journey was so far away in an untamed land, they sent skilled labourers, farmers and ex-soldiers that were convicted of minor crimes. But along with the convicts and soldiers came with free settlers and British entrepreneurs. By the time the Australian gold rush started around 1851, Australia was built up by the first and second generation of colonies. Many people in Britain saw Australia as an opportunity for new beginnings, starting a new business venture and other things that set the foundations to form new towns, cities and states. Relations before 1901 were unsurprisingly strong, though many Britons didn't think that highly of Australians at the time, or rather the convicts that were in Australia. Most of this came from the upper class that haven't been to Australia. The rest, on the other hand, didn't give much of a toss on some faraway colony except the ones that were going as prisoners or free settlers. So at this stage, the relationship is like an angry mother sending her teenage daughter to a prep school or camp. So now let's get to the diplomacy. Oh boy. So in terms of diplomacy between the British government and the Australian government, it's kind of hard to put a start date. Do we start diplomacy between the state colonies, the first being New South Wales in 1788, but then there's also the fact that Australia was a British colony, so the Australian state governors were appointed by the British monarch. I'll just jump to the federal/Commonwealth government of Australia. So the official diplomacy between the British and Australian federal government started literally after Federation in 1901. Australia became a constitutional monarch. Queen Victoria appointed John Hope to be Australia's first Governor-General. He didn't last that long. Then in 1910, Australia sent Sir George to be the High Commissioner to London. High Commissioners is the rank of ambassador used among other Commonwealth countries with a constitutional monarch. This is a good time to mention what a constitutional monarch is. You see, a constitutional monarchy is a form of monarchy in which the sovereign/country or land exercises authority in accordance with a written/or unwritten constitution. In Australia's case, the British monarch, or let's just say now the Queen, is the head of state of Australia. The Queen appoints a Governor-General as the Queen's representative, which the Governor-General has executive powers. On a side note, there is a lot of information that I can't seem to digest. After I research one thing, I have to research another thing, and another thing, and another thing, and it's just a lot of political history. A lot of it is all in politics and acts involving how much power the British monarch had influence in Australia. But to sum it up, after the two world wars, British influence in Australia slowly declined and replaced with American influence, especially during the 60s, and also the ANZUS Treaty. Even though the Constitution of Australia still gives the Governor-General executive powers, today diplomacy between the countries is strong. Not surprising. Also, all members of Parliament must take an oath of allegiance to Her Majesty and her successors, so let's go to trade. So according to the Australian Trade and Investment Commission, both countries have strong ties. Growing strong underscores Australia and the UK's investment relationship as building on both countries' shared history, common values and strong personal links. The UK is Australia's 8th largest trading partner, while Australia is UK's 19th trading partner. The UK is also the second largest source of foreign investment in Australia, with the stock of investment valued at $574.8 billion in 2018. With Australian investment in the UK being $408 billion that same year. Also got to mention the Australian United Kingdom Free Trade Agreement going through since post-Brexit. Currently negotiations are underway, but not sure what's happening. I think it's likely going to pan out well. Among other things, Australia's main exports to the UK are gold, alcohol, lead, pearls and gems. On the agricultural side, Australia exports a lot of beef, alcohol, mainly wine, sheep meat, almonds and wool to the UK. The UK's main exports to Australia are passenger motor vehicles and other machinery and vehicle parts, and alcohol beverages. Adding to the agricultural side, I can't seem to get a straight answer on this. Sure, there's been some export of stuff like tea, wool, beef, lamb, and even sugar, but kind of drawing a blank here on their most exported stuff to Australia on the agricultural side. So let's get to the war segment. So in terms of fighting each other, oh god, technically there was the Rum Rebellion, but anyway, in terms of fighting together, there's quite the list of wars. Before Federation, Australia has assisted Britain in the Boer War and the Boxer Rebellion. After Federation, we have the Great War, World War II, the Indonesian Revolution, the Korean War, the Malaysian Emergency, the Borneo Confrontation, the Gulf War, the War in Afghanistan, the War in Iraq, and the War on ISIS. Among this, Australia has purchased or licensed purchased military equipment and weapons, which I covered some of the weapons in other videos. Today, its assistance is limited due to distance, so kind of a long distance relationship with her mother. So it's not surprising the relationship between Australia and Britain is like a mother and daughter. Really, this is a mother seeing her daughter growing up so far away. And while the daughter is rebellious and doesn't agree with her mother all the time, she is family. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Please like and subscribe. It brings a smile to my face. And if you're wondering why this took so long, well, I've got studies, and also just after the studies, I'd just rather play a video game. I've got nothing else to say, but check my other videos, and yeah, see ya, bye.